All eyes on Boston, today on The World. I'm Marco Werman. A federal judge here in Boston considers whether to lift or extend an injunction against President Trump's travel ban.
Boston indeed became a beacon of sorts for immigrants coming to this country, those with valid visas, that is. And now that's a whole different ballgame, possibly.
Also, Yemeni bodega owners in New York question the travel ban.
We came here for freedom. Why you limit us? I want to be like you. If you have the right, I have the right.
Plus, France gets ready to go to the polls.
Trump's victory had really a kind of major impact psychologically in France that somebody like Marine Le Pen could perhaps win.
Those stories ahead today on The World. From Washington State to Virginia, multiple lawsuits are unfolding right now, challenging the executive order on immigration that President Trump signed a week ago. The order temporarily bars refugees and citizens of 7 Muslim-majority nations from entering the U.S. Many of the legal challenges focus on people who already had valid U.S. visas to enter the country. And on that front, a key hearing took place today, just down the road from our studios at the federal courthouse in Boston, the same court that issued an injunction last weekend blocking enforcement of parts of the ban. That injunction expires on Sunday. My WGBH colleague Philip Martin was at the courthouse today.
The original brief filed by the ACLU is representing basically 2 professors in the area who come from the affected countries. Now, an amended brief includes not only these professors, but also includes other green card holders who feel they've been discriminated against, and the ACLU says they can prove it. It also includes now the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which has basically joined with the ACLU in this suit, and Oxfam America, an international relief and development organization, which I, at one point, headed up communications for Oxfam. I should point that out as a matter of course.
Okay, so just set the mood in the courtroom, first of all. Who was there? What was it like?
Okay, you had the government there represented by DOJ lawyers who have been flown in from Washington. Commonwealth of Massachusetts was also represented. A separate table. You also had a table set up for the ACLU. There were arguments that came from the ACLU, from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and from the government. Inside this courtroom, it was packed. There was standing room only outside.
Wow.
And dozens of people standing in the hallway hoping to get in and wanting to hear what this particular judge, Nathaniel Gordon, how he was going to take these arguments and what he was going to do with these particular arguments.
Yeah, so what kind of position did he take?
Just as some background, Nathaniel Gordon used to sit on the court, we call it the FISA court, that deals with espionage and terrorism, correct? He also has a reputation for being very pro-government. He seemed to have lived up to that, at least in the context of his questions. He was very skeptical of the ACLU argument and of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts argument and of Oxfam America. All of them argued that their clients were victims of discrimination because they're Muslims. The judge evoked the Equal Protection Clause, and the judge said, I see nowhere in the executive order that discriminates against Muslims. The ACLU pushed back. Matthew Siegel was their lead attorney, and said, look, if you look at the 7 countries, they're predominantly Muslim countries. Therefore, the people who are being targeted are Muslim. The judge said, but nowhere does it say that. And also, if you look at the immigration and naturalization section, a particular section within immigration and naturalization laws, that it does, in fact, permit the United States to target certain countries, but not necessarily their population. And he said those populations are not targeted. Matthew Siegel pushed back at the ACLU and said, look, if you go back to Donald Trump's speech in December of last year, where he said, we want to impose a permanent and complete ban on Muslims. You remember this famous speech. Matthew Siegel said that itself is evidence that this is inspired by religion. But that alone is not evidence because he was not president at that point.
You know, because of this particular lawsuit here in Boston, it seems a lot of people coming to the U.S. want to get in through Boston Logan Airport. How will today's news from the courthouse impact this, do you think?
I think it means that they better get here quickly because either the judge rules for the ACLU, meaning that they might have some extra days if it's a permanent injunction. But if he rules against them, Boston becomes no different than any other airport in the country in terms of the possibility that many of these people may be those with